So the guy won't give us the land for my pleasure palace, huh? Well then, we'll just have to introduce him to my associates, the Bonecrusher brothers. We're gonna make an offer he can't refuse. Tell him to leave the cannoli, especially if he puts some grilled shrimp in it. Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. And just like we did last week with the aerial bots, we're going to round out this month by taking a look at a pair of Constructicons, original and modern. This time around we have Bonecrusher. Now of course the original one there is kind of hiding stuff from the modern version. That's due to the fact that this little Bonecrusher here has seen a lot of action. He's from my personal collection. Well, he's actually my brother's figure, but still. So, the Constructicons saw a lot of action in our youth, especially being the first combiner unit. Anyway, he was released back in 1985. He was also available in 1986. And he functioned as a demolitions expert for the Constructicons. So physically, he was the strongest of the Constructicons. But he also followed the same trope of being strong and stupid, as he would often set his explosives up, but he would not be smart enough to get fully clear of the blast area before it goes off. Now, as an added bonus, like with the other Constructicons, we also happen to have the Generation 2 version. And while he stands only a little bit better, it's still not perfect due to the way their legs were done up. But at least we can get him to stand. The moment I take the big guy away, down goes the original. Then he knocks both of them down. There we go, I think we got him now. Alright, so if we've got him there, let's put the G2 in the right spot. You stand over here. Alright, wonderful, wonderful. So, these figures are from the exact same mold, and even a lot of their accessories share very good and very similar designs. They're all from the same molds, just changed slightly to reflect the times of release. As we can show you, we can start by showing you his gun. This is the Generation 1 gun. And then we'll come over here and we'll get the G2 gun. Got to hold them by the barrel here. But you can clearly see they are the same, save for the color. They're done up to match their bodies. So that's all. That's the one big way to tell them apart. Gotta reach back behind me here and grab some bags of parts so that we can show off everything else. G1 parts and G2 parts. Okay, they both come with the left hand of Devastator. That's due to the fact that Bonecrusher forms the left arm, so naturally he should have the left hand. And it's not coming out very clearly on the camera, I don't think, but the Generation 1 version is in a dark purple, and the Generation 2 is a little bit lighter. But you can also see that the post on them has been altered. The G2 version is a thicker post, And the G1 version has this little notch, since the original part that it connects to was capable of launching it. Set them aside. Here are what they call the target shooters. They're done up in exactly the same mold. The only difference is besides the color, because they should match the hands. The Generation 1 version has a green tab, because it did have a small spring-loaded launcher in there, which didn't always work or hold very well. The G2 version lacks the spring-loaded launcher, so it does not have a switch. And also, to make sure you have it instead of scavengers, the post, this one has a hole at the top, since of the way it connects. And of course, it also has 2 holes on the back for connecting it to the vehicle mode. And then lastly, you have 2 drill bits, or what they refer to them as rotor blade projectiles. They are done up in chrome and pretty much look the same, but again, like with the fists, they are modified to suit the specific launcher. So do bear that in mind if you do go looking for loose versions on the market. Now we'll take a look at his articulation, and well, all we got is in the arms. You do have an elbow joint and a shoulder joint, and that pretty much is it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and transform Bonecrusher. The first thing you do is you're going to fold his head down. We're going to swing up the upper part of the driver's compartment. Come down here and fold his feet down and slide them in. And then swivel the tread all the way around him. Take his chest and stretch it out to form the blade. Then we fold the arms up first at the elbow, then rotate them at the shoulder so that these posts sit at the top. And there is Bonecrusher in his alternate mode as a bulldozer. He is apparently supposed to resemble a Caterpillar D9G pusher. And then, of course, for comparison's sake, we have the Generation 2 version, which some of you will see on here. He has a stylized Decepticon logo in the blade, and it says Decepticon, as if we needed him to tell us that, but whatever. Now, of course, we have to show you the battle mode, which you just attach the blade in, fold the hood down over the driver's compartment, and then just press it right into place, as we shall do with the G2 version. Rather silly due to the fact that they look the same, but that's what we're here for. And there you go. You can drill and push at the same time. No wonder Larry's going to try to get that land. Okay, before we switch over to the modern Bonecrusher, we do have the Generation 1 file card. So you can see how he was marketed back then. Got some nice artwork of Bonecrusher here. Right here would be the bulldozer, and over here would be all the accessories. And you can see that he has the advert for making Devastator. And it looks like this one was sold for about $6 back in the day. And here on the back, we've got the barcode. He was worth 1 robot point. And we have a cross cell that shows all 6 Constructicons along with Devastator. I love how here on the drawing they have his foot coming out, so they have to break his name down into 2 words. Then we get the piece here that shows all the accessories. Then it shows how to make the attack mode. And then goes into how to transform him into the robot, how to put on the stickers, and how to read the tech specs, which we will do down here now. It's done up in purple to show he's a Decepticon, and it says Constructicon instead. And the picture matches that of the one on the front of the card. It gives his name as Bonecrusher, and his function is demolitions. There's a quote associated with him. It says, "Hit it till it stands no taller than dust." Rubble-strewn wasteland is his idea of beautiful landscape. His wild ways create fear and terror. As vehicle at 30 miles per hour exerts 800,000 pounds per square inch. Has short-range concussion bomb launcher. As robot, carries laser pistol. As left arm module, combines with fellow Constructicons to form giant robot Devastator. And now we'll go over here to the grid. Normally you would need a decoder to look this over, but I can read it relatively well. It gives his strength as 9, his intelligence is 3, his speed is also 3, his endurance is 8, his rank is 4, his courage is 8, his firepower and his skill are both at 6. So, he's slow and stupid, but other than that, in a lot of cases, he's above average. Probably the ideal soldier in the Decepticon army. And now here is the Studio 86 version of Bonecrusher. And while it is nice that the body's a little more filled out, I'm not sure if I like how it looks. It just looks weird to me, folks. I don't really know how to describe it. It just looks a little weird and a little off. But apparently he does suffer from a minor misassembly. That goes with this connection piece here on his back. It's installed upside down, so it doesn't rest flat exactly. Although on mine, it's not too bad here in the robot mode. Let's see how it looks in the bulldozer mode. According to the Transformer Wiki, it does unfortunately make it easier to pull him off of being in Devastator form. You can fix it by disassembling the torso and flipping the joint around, although you have to get to some very difficult to access screws. But it does still, since supposedly it still works despite the design flaw. So, I think in most cases, we're probably better off just leave well enough alone. Now, this Bonecrusher only comes with one accessory, and that is his gun. And as you saw from a little bit ago, it does bear some resemblance to the Generation 1 gun. At least it has the same feature of having a slight scope on the top of it. Not as heavily exaggerated, but it still looks pretty good. If there's anything to be disappointed about, it's in black, not in green to match him, but I think I like the color contrast of this one better. So, we'll say that's better for him. Then now we'll take a look at Bonecrusher's articulation. You can turn his head from side to side. And while it's on a hinge piece that'll allow it to look up and down, it's not quite as articulate as the ball joint. You can raise his arms up at the shoulder about so far and rotate them all the way around. He's got a joint at the elbow, so you can bend his arm at the elbow 90 degrees. And since his elbow is a ball joint, he can swivel his arm at their way, so he has G.I. Joe battle grip. He does can be twisted at his hips, but you have to move the scoop out to be able to do that, so kind of a lost articulation there. You can spread his legs out into a full split. He does surprisingly have a good thigh cut. You can raise his legs at the hip 90 degrees, and you can bend him at the knee 90 degrees. So unfortunately, like with Scrapper, he does suffer from some hindrance on the articulation. Alright, let's transform Bonecrusher. First, we turn him around, rotate his arms at the elbow so that his hands point at the back, and then you can fold them up and they can connect onto his shoulders. Just like that. Mine's a little stiff, so of course once we've done that and we raise up the canopy, then you can stretch out this piece, the connector here at the back. Then they want you to fold this whole section back and down, just like that. Then you'll come up here and you'll take his head and you will fold it inside, like so. Rotate his arms, like so, so they're alongside like that. And then you can separate them from the shoulder and fold them into this empty cavity. Might have to shift things a bit to allow it to get in there, because it is a bit of a snug fit. Once you do get it in, then you can bring the body all together like so. Completely bring up the canopy for the driver's compartment. Come down here to his feet and you will fold the feet all in to fully form the treads. Then you will kind of fold them outwards. Also bring the connector down flat, or as flat as you can get it. Because then you're going to connect the legs to the sides. They line up with a couple of posts, so there they go. And once they're in, you can stretch out the scoop and then fold it upwards and bring it down, because it should connect into the front like so. And then there you have it. Set him down properly. And of course we'll bring in the two old boys for a comparison. It's nice that the scoop is up a little bit higher, although I think it's a little too high if you ask me. But at least this time around, the modern one can store his gun, like so. So I guess it's a little bit of a give and take. So now we get to my thoughts. What do I think of Bonecrusher? The original Bonecrusher is a classic. I gotta give it that, being a Generation 1 fan. The G2 version, it's okay, even though it's basically a repaint of the original. But with it being done in yellow, he more resembles how construction vehicles looked at the time. Kind of would have been nice if they would have given some proper colors to his treads so that it looked a little bit better. The modern one, I'm a little bit on the fence with it, folks, because I mean, both the robot and the bulldozer modes, they look a little wonky to me. I don't think they look as good as they should. But part of that may also change when we get a good look at Devastator later on in the year. So we'll have to reserve some of our judgment until then. But for now, I'm still going to say he looks a little wonky. And that concludes my review of Bonecrusher, the Generation 1, Generation 2, and Studio 86 toy. I hope you all enjoyed them. And please do remember that if you love the content we feature on this channel, I would certainly appreciate a like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're still working on what we're going to do for next month, so keep watching. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.